Hello traders, today is going to be a very simple video with what we're going to be talking about today, which is covered calls. So covered calls are probably the most popular strategy, or at least one of the more popular strategies when it comes to options trading. For those who don't know, what a covered call is when you hold the underlying asset and then you sell a call to earn a premium, to earn passive income, and that's basically it. So let's go over some payoffs, how to select different strike prices, when to do a covered call strategy, when not to. So today we're going to be using Ethereum, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So the first thing that you want to do, if you're going to be doing a covered call strategy on Delta, you want to make very sure that you are using portfolio margin mode. The reason you need to use this is portfolio margin mode means that you can use spot and futures against options trades. So that means that you could sell a call and buy spot, or just have spot in your Delta account, and that way you would be guaranteed to not be liquidated. If you use isolated, you could be liquidated. If you use one of these two, you can be a lot safer. So that's one thing you can do, is to make sure you're in portfolio mode. If you want to do a covered call strategy with Ethereum, you click Ethereum. If you want to do it with Bitcoin, you click Bitcoin, and that's how you do it. So let's say that I have 10 Ethereum, okay? And I'm going to add that in right here. So let's say I have 10 Ethereum, which would be 1,000 contracts, and I have 10 Ethereum long. This is the current payoff graph. But then I don't really think that price is going to go up much. Maybe it goes up a little bit, but I'm also a little bit worried the price might fall in the next 7 days. So what can I do? Well, in order to go shopping for a good cover call, what you want to do is first look at all of the different times. And we can look here, here, and what you want to be looking for specifically is the bid IV. So in green, these are the calls, and in green is the implied volatility. You want that number, that percentage, to be as high as possible, because the higher means the more premium that you earn. If we go to the 7-day, it gets a lot larger, meaning that we can earn a much larger premium with a covered call strategy. And if we go to the, what expires in 13 days, the premium gets even bigger. But today we're going to be focusing on this one that expires in 6 days, or next Friday. Well, for Eastern time at 7 a.m. on Friday next week. So here's how you could do this. If we have let's say we have the, let's say that we don't think that Ethereum's going to go above 1,300. It's just not going to do that. Let's say that that's your belief over the next 6 days. What you would do is you would sell the exact same amount of calls at this strike price that you own. And this is what the payoff graph would look like. So if you look here, what we have is we are right now short 1,000 calls at the 1,300 strike, expiring the 13th of January. We also own 10 Ethereum at spot, so we're long 10 Ethereum. Here's the different situations that could happen. If price just continues to go higher, just, barrels on upward, that's actually not such a bad thing. I mean, you earn a flat amount, basically. You cannot earn more than $444, right? If you had not shorted that call, you would have earned more. Duh. If price does absolutely nothing, that's probably one of the best scenarios possible. Because if price doesn't do anything and just expires, then you're going to be earning a pretty fat premium, $134 right here. And if price falls, if you were already bullish on Ethereum and you're already thinking, I don't really care if price falls because I'm in it for the long run, then doing this kind of strategy can be pretty good, because if price falls, you're not going to be losing as much money because you sold a call. Let me show you guys exactly how that works. Let's say that we just own Ethereum, right? If we just own Ethereum and in 6 days, the price of Ethereum's at 1,200, you would be theoretically down $689 if you had bought 10 Ethereum. Now let's go say if we had shorted the call, instead of being down, what was it, like 689, now you're only down about, was it like 534 or whatever. You're saving a lot of money on that downside. That might not seem like a lot, but if you continue to do covered calls on a long-term asset, you can basically continue to build up a premium. And if that asset is not volatile or goes down a little bit, you can just continue to earn that premium and then reinvest the premium that you earn back into buying Ethereum or Bitcoin, or I don't know, SPY or whatever asset you're using. Now, one of the other best scenarios would be if, well, probably my favorite scenario is if Bitcoin expires exactly at 1300, you're just golden, because then this option would expire for its full value, which would be $134 debited to you. You'd make 130 credited to you. You would make $134, and then you would also gain a fair amount of money from Ethereum going up from the price that you bought it at. So that is one thing you can do when you use a more out-of-the-money strike, because what we're doing here is shorting an out-of-the-money strike. But there are more aggressive ways you can take this, and one thing that I like to do is to use a more aggressive strike. So if I want to short the 1250 call, the payoff graph is going to look not a lot different, but a little bit different here. With shorting this, you can see that the premium gets a lot larger. What does that mean? Well, that means that if price falls anywhere around here, I basically save $373 if price just tanks, because I shorted the call. Unfortunately, though, if price does rise, we don't really make that much money at all on Ethereum. But if price doesn't do anything, you're going to be making money, basically. But if price settles exactly at 1250, like right here, on expiry, you would actually have a profit. So just because you had bought, where do my strategies go? Just because you had bought, theoretically, Ethereum at a price of $12.68, price did go down $18. Yeah, price went down $18. But because you sold the call for $38, you earn that extra $20 in premium in the difference, that is. So even if price goes down to $12.50, you still make about $183. So that's what would happen is if you own 10 Ethereum and if you were shorting, calls constantly. Now you might say, well, what's the ROI of this system if price just, I don't know, doesn't do much, falls, or just goes down to $12.50 and just kind of chills out at $12.50? Well, the amount of money would be 373 divided by the amount of Ethereum that you own times the price of Ethereum. So it would be 373 times 10 times this, and that would be your return on investment, basically. So 10 times 1270, you would earn 3% a week if you do this strategy. You would earn 3% from now to the next 6 days. Now, guys, when I say you earn 3% a week with this covered call strategy, you do have to know what that means. That doesn't necessarily mean that you just earn 3% no matter what. What that means is that you're capping your upside potential if price rockets higher, but you're protecting yourself if price were to fall. You're going to earn more and more money. Not more and more money, sorry. But you're going to earn more money that will lessen the loss. And if price does absolutely nothing, then you're golden, of course. Then you just print money. But this kind of strategy, that plus 3%, can be thought of more as it's only plus 3% if price falls. Because then you earn, that extra 3% ROI. But if price rises, you're actually capping your profit. Why this is such a popular strategy is a lot of traders like to do more of a wheel strategy where that's a bit different. But basically, a pretty popular strategy is we own an asset such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, we sell calls on Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then we reinvest the profits. We reinvest the premium. We reinvest the premium, and you just continue to build up your Bitcoin. The issue with this is if Bitcoin or Ethereum just rise like crazy, you lose all the potential profit. You're going to make money, obviously, because, you're going to make money, but you don't really earn as much. So that's what it would look like on Ethereum. But let's say that you own Bitcoin. Let's go look at those potential payoffs. There's less implied volatility, not surprisingly, but I still do want to simulate this. So let's say you're doing the same strategy where we are long Bitcoin. So I'm going to add a leg, and let's say we're long Bitcoin, and we think that price will not be above 17,000. So we short it. And we also own Bitcoin. So we own, this is what it would look like. So if you were to short the 17K call, and if you were to be long Bitcoin at the current price, your break-even's pretty nice, as you can see. And you would basically be earning a premium of $237 on your one Bitcoin. And that's a pretty easy calculation. That's just 236 divided by the price of Bitcoin. So that's 236 divided by 1960. Sorry, not 1960. 16,690? 16, what's the price? 16, there we go, 16,960. That's correct. You're going to be earning about 1.4% every week. At the current implied volatility, you'd be earning 1.4% a week with this covered call strategy. However, do remember what I had said before. Just because you're earning a premium and you're earning that 1.4% safely, if price rises if price rises, you just don't make as much money. That is the massive detriment, to the strategy. The benefit of this strategy is if price slowly just goes down, you're golden because you're just going to continue to make money. That's one benefit. Another benefit, this is going to be the last thing I'm going to say. Probably one of the more, I'd say, better ways to do this is if you're holding Bitcoin long term, and let's say you put that Bitcoin on the Delta exchange, if you're holding it long term, one thing you could do, and if you think the price is going to be bearish, is you could be a lot more aggressive. So let's say instead of targeting the 17K, basically meaning that you think that price is going to be below 17K in 6 days, let's say you think that price is just going to go below 16,500. You could sell this, and if you do that, if price rises, you're really not going to make much money. But if price falls, you earn a $535 premium extra. So that means that the basic difference is if price were to fall to 16,000, you lose 950 normally. If price just tanked to 16K, you would lose, like I said, about $950. Now, when you short the call as well, instead of losing that much, you would only lose 416. That's a massive difference. Instead of losing 960 on your Bitcoin holdings, you only lose 400. That's pretty nice, right? And let's say that price just, you get very lucky and price just goes to 16,500. That would be amazing because you would earn the entire $535 in cash. Because this would expire worthless. So you can see the break-even's great, but your upside potential is terrible. And that's just something you can do. If you're super bearish, if you want to hold Bitcoin, but you're I think Bitcoin's just going to die, then you could do something like this, but that's a little too extreme. Or if you think absolutely nothing is going to happen to Bitcoin for a long time, you could target a farther out strike. But this seems a little sad because if price rises above 17K, you're just not going to make much money. But, you earn a nice premium. And if you want to get very aggressive and kind of sad for the next 2 weeks, you could earn a $670 premium, which would be 668 divided by 16960, which is a 4% passive income on your money in 2 weeks. But the major downside is that if price rises, you make nothing. But you do earn $670. So if price goes down to 16,000, you would only lose 280. Whereas normally, like I showed before, you would lose about 950. So that is what a cover call strategy is, guys. You can do this on Ethereum or Bitcoin. You can do it in either. I do not recommend, no financial advice. I really don't think it's a good idea to ever do this kind of strategy on daily options. There's a lot of reasons not to. One of them is that the daily options are very, very cheap on Delta. If you look at the bid implied volatility here, it's just so low. It's just not a lot of money that you're going to make. I guess you could theoretically own Bitcoin and then sell this and get get $23 in premium. And if price doesn't settle above 17K, you just have an extra $23. But you're capping your upside at a kind of low cost. It gets a lot better when you go a week out or 2 weeks out. And then if you go really far out, if you're really just thinking Bitcoin's just not going to do anything, then you can make a lot of money doing something like this, where, if we look at 24th of February, 48 days from now, you could own Bitcoin, and then you could also do something like sell the 20K strike for $190 and make 190 as long as Bitcoin doesn't go above 20K. That's one thing you could do. So that's what a cover call is. Just make sure to have portfolio margin on. And you can either take a futures position or a spot position with this, but it's probably a lot safer to do this with just holding Bitcoin, holding Ethereum, and then using portfolio margin to short whatever option you want. Check to make sure that it doesn't have a liquidation price. And yeah, that's basically all there is to it. With that, happy trading. Maybe you could do this like a wheel strategy where one were to sell a weekly option and continue to sell weekly calls to continue to generate income. Or you could do it to be a little bit more bearish, to target a very low strike, to short that, so that if price tanks, you don't really lose that much money and you make a fat premium. That's what a cover call strategy is. Best of luck, guys, and it's up to you if you want to cover or not. So get covered.